Over 90% of Mercedes owners will pay double for a routine repair this year, simply because of a cardboard box. Not because German engineering demands it, but because the dealership hides the true manufacturer's name. Today, we expose the 15 Mercedes parts you should never buy from the service bay, and exactly where to secure them for half the price. The suspension secret at number 6 will permanently alter how you maintain your vehicle. Let's begin. Number 15. The engine and cabin air filters. When you sit in the luxurious leather chair in the dealership waiting room, sipping your complimentary espresso, the service advisor will approach you with a very serious face. They will hold up a dirty paper filter. They will tell you that your engine is suffocating and your cabin air is filled with toxic pollen. They will offer to replace both filters for $150. Do not authorize that service. Mercedes-Benz does not own a massive paper mill. They do not manufacture filtration media. They hire a massive German industrial supplier named Manfilter to build every single filter that goes into their cars. Manfilter runs the exact same paper through the exact same assembly line. At the end of the line, they put half the filters in a blue Mercedes box and the other half in a yellow and green Man box. If you walk to the parts counter, that blue box costs $80. If you go online to an independent supplier like FCP Euro or Autohaus AZ, the exact same Manfilter costs $22. Replacing the cabin and engine air filters requires zero mechanical skill. You literally pop 3 metal clips under the hood, pull the old paper out, and drop the new paper in. It takes exactly 4 minutes. You are paying the dealership $130 for 4 minutes of labor and a cardboard box with a star on it. Buy the OEM Man filter. Keep the cash in your pocket. The air filters are a massive ripoff, but the rubber strip at number 14 is the most comical markup in the entire service bay. Number 14. The windshield wiper. Assembly service advisors love to tack wiper blades onto your bill. You bring your car in for an oil change, and they casually mention that your blades are streaking. They quote you $90 for a new set of genuine Mercedes wiper blades. You assume these blades are forged from some mythical German rubber. They are not. They are manufactured by Valeo or Bosch. Bosch invented the modern aerodynamic wiper blade. The Bosch Aerotwin is the exact original equipment manufacturer part that snaps onto your windshield at the factory in Germany. If you look closely at the $90 blades the dealership hands you, you will literally see the tiny Bosch logo stamped into the plastic connector, right next to the Mercedes star. You can buy the exact same Bosch Aerotwin wiper blade set online for $32. Installing them is ridiculously easy. You pinch 2 plastic tabs, slide the old blade off, and snap the new one in. A child could do it in the driveway. The dealership charges you an hour of minimum labor to execute a 10-second pinch. Do not fall for the convenience trap. The service advisor relies on your laziness. They know you do not want to go to the auto parts store. Order the Bosch blades directly to your front porch. You get the exact same silent, streak-free wipe for a fraction of the cost. If you have ever paid $90 for rubber strips, hit the like button right now. We have all fallen for it once. The wiper blades are a visual scam, but the massive black box at number 13 is the electrical heart of the entire car. Number 13. The absorbent glass, matte battery. Modern Mercedes vehicles are rolling supercomputers. They possess massive infotainment screens, heated massage seats, and dozens of active radar modules. To power this massive digital grid, the car requires an absorbent glass matte battery. This is not a standard cheap lead-acid battery. It is a heavy, highly advanced power cell. When your car refuses to start on a cold winter morning, the dealership will happily tow it to the bay. They will quote you $450 for a genuine Mercedes battery, plus another $150 for installation and computer registration. You are looking at a $600 bill to start your car. Mercedes does not manufacture batteries. They source their massive H8 and H9 batteries from global battery conglomerates like Varda or Johnson Controls. You can drive to your local auto parts store and purchase an Interstate or an Autocraft Platinum absorbent glass matte battery for around $200. These aftermarket batteries are built in the exact same manufacturing facilities as the original equipment. They possess the exact same cold cranking amps. They hold the exact same reserve capacity. Many local auto parts stores will even install the battery in the parking lot for absolutely free. They will plug a small digital scanner into your onboard diagnostic port to tell the car computer that a new battery was installed, ensuring the alternator charges it correctly. You save $400 in 30 minutes. You get the exact same electrical performance. The battery powers the computers, but the thermal gatekeeper at number 12 dictates whether your engine survives the summer heat. Number 12. The engine thermostat. Assembly. The thermostat is a simple mechanical valve. It sits between your engine and your radiator. When the engine is cold, it stays closed to help the metal heat up. When the engine gets hot, it opens to allow coolant to flow into the radiator and cool down. It is a fundamental piece of basic thermodynamics. On a modern Mercedes, the thermostat is often housed in an electronic plastic assembly. When this plastic cracks or the valve sticks open, your dashboard lights up like a Christmas tree. Your check engine light triggers. The dealership will quote you $200 for the part and $300 for the labor. Mercedes does not forge their own thermostats. They outsource this component to specialized thermal management companies like Waller or Baer. If you pull the broken thermostat out of your engine bay, you will see the word Waller stamped directly into the aluminum housing. If you go to a specialized European parts website like FCP Euro, you can buy the exact same Waller thermostat for $55. It comes with the precise rubber gaskets and the exact temperature spring calibration required by your engine computer. The installation process usually involves removing 3 simple bolts and topping off the coolant. By purchasing the original equipment manufacturer part, you guarantee the engine runs at the exact mathematical temperature required for maximum fuel efficiency without paying the massive corporate markup. The thermostat controls the liquid heat, but the electrical fire at number 11 dictates the raw power of the engine. Number 11. The ignition. Coil packs. If you drive a Mercedes with a turbocharged engine, you demand smooth, aggressive acceleration. When you step on the gas pedal and the engine sputters, shakes, and misfires, you panic. You assume the engine is catastrophic. You limp the car to the dealership. The service advisor runs a diagnostic scan. They tell you that ignition coil number 3 has failed. They advise you to replace all the coils at once. They quote you $120 per coil. For a 6-cylinder engine, that is over $700 in parts alone. An ignition coil is a simple electrical transformer. It takes the 12 volts from your battery and magnifies it into 30,000 volts to jump the gap on the spark plug. Mercedes does not wind their own copper coils. They buy them from massive electrical suppliers like Delphi or Bosch. You can buy the exact same Delphi ignition coil online for $38. If you hold the $38 Delphi coil next to the $120 Mercedes coil, they are physically identical. In many cases, you can literally see where the factory used a Dremel tool to grind the Mercedes logo off the plastic before putting it in the Delphi box. It is the exact same part. Replacing them requires taking off a plastic engine cover and unbolting a single screw for each coil. You pull the old one out and push the new one in. You save nearly $500 in 20 minutes of driveway labor. Leave a comment below right now and tell us the highest quote a dealership ever gave you for a simple repair. We read every single comment. The coils provide the spark, but the massive spinning generator at number 10 provides the endless current. Number 10, the heavy-duty alternator. When the massive absorbent glass mat battery fails to hold a charge while you are driving, your dashboard turns bright red. The car warns you to pull over immediately. Your alternator is dead. The alternator is the mechanical generator bolted to the side of the engine that produces electricity while the internal components spin. You tow the car to the dealership. The quote is completely terrifying. They want $1,200 for a new genuine Mercedes alternator, plus 4 hours of labor. You're looking at a $2,000 repair bill for a single spinning magnet. The reality is simple. The alternator was built by Bosch or Valeo. You do not need to buy a brand new unit in a blue box. You can purchase a Bosch remanufactured alternator online for roughly $300. Remanufactured does not mean used. It means Bosch took the massive aluminum housing, completely stripped out the old copper wire, installed brand new internal bearings, installed a brand new voltage regulator, and tested it on the exact same factory machines that build the new ones. The Bosch remanufactured unit provides the exact same electrical amperage output as the one that came on the car from the factory. Many online retailers will even refund you a core charge when you ship your broken alternator back to them in the same box. You bypass the massive corporate parts markup and restore the electrical grid of your car for a fraction of the cost. The alternator powers the electronics, but the digital pump at number 9 keeps the entire engine block from melting into a puddle of slag. Number 9. The electric water pump. Historically, water pumps were simple metal impellers driven by a rubber belt on the front of the engine. They were cheap and easy to replace. Modern Mercedes engines are far more advanced. They utilize massive electric water pumps. The engine computer commands the pump to spin faster or slower, depending on the exact thermal load of the vehicle. It is a brilliant piece of engineering. When it fails, the car overheats immediately. The dealership will quote you $800 for the part alone. Mercedes did not invent the electric water pump. They buy them from a specialized German fluid dynamics company called Pierburg. If you order the Pierburg electric water pump from an independent European parts distributor, you will pay roughly $300. You're getting the exact same computerized internal circuitry. You're getting the exact same plastic composite impeller. The pump will communicate flawlessly with your engine control module because it speaks the exact same digital language. Replacing an electric water pump is a messy job. You must drain the coolant and remove several hoses beneath the car. But if you hand your trusted independent mechanic a $300 Pierburg pump instead of letting the dealership source the $800 Blue Box, you instantly slash your final repair bill in half. The pump flows the coolant, but the microscopic sniffer at number 8 dictates exactly how much fuel the car burns. Number 8. The exhaust oxygen sensors. Your modern Mercedes is obsessed with efficiency. It constantly monitors the exhaust gases leaving the engine to ensure the fuel mixture is absolutely perfect. It uses oxygen sensors screwed directly into the exhaust pipes to sniff the chemical makeup of the exhaust. When an oxygen sensor gets coated in carbon and fails, your fuel economy plummets. Your check engine light illuminates. The car fails the state emissions inspection. The dealership will charge you $300 for a single genuine Mercedes oxygen sensor. Most cars have 4 of them. Bosch invented the modern automotive oxygen sensor. They are the absolute undisputed king of this technology. Mercedes buys their oxygen sensors directly from Bosch. You can buy the exact same direct-fit Bosch oxygen sensor online for roughly $90. Do not buy a cheap universal sensor that requires you to cut and splice the electrical wires. You want the direct-fit Bosch unit. It comes with the exact correct length of high-temperature wire and the exact plastic connector clip designed for your specific wiring harness. You unclip the wire, use a special 22mm socket to unscrew the old sensor from the exhaust pipe, and screw the new one in. The engine computer instantly recognizes the new sensor and restores your fuel efficiency to factory specifications. The oxygen sensor reads the exhaust, but the delicate wire at number 7 measures the incoming air before the engine even fires. Number 7. The mass airflow sensor. Before the engine can inject fuel, it must know exactly how much air is entering the intake manifold. It uses a mass airflow sensor. This is a highly sensitive piece of plastic housing containing a microscopic heated wire. As the air rushes past the wire, it cools the wire down. The computer calculates the exact volume of air based on the temperature change. It is a brilliant physical mechanism, but when dirt or oil coats that microscopic wire, the sensor goes blind. The engine hesitates, idles rough, and stalls out at stoplights. The dealership will quote you $450 for a new mass airflow sensor. They will tell you it is a highly calibrated piece of diagnostic equipment. It is highly calibrated, but it was calibrated by Bosch, not Mercedes. You can buy the Bosch original equipment mass airflow sensor for $130. It is the exact same plastic tube. It contains the exact same microscopic platinum wire. Replacing it requires a flathead screwdriver. You loosen 2 metal hose clamps, pull the old plastic tube out of the intake piping and slide the new one in. You plug the electrical connector back in. The entire process takes 6 minutes. You save over $300 for turning a screwdriver twice. If you want to stop getting ripped off for simple plastic sensors, hit the subscribe button right now. We show you the truth under the hood. The air sensor manages the engine, but the heavy metal components at number 6 completely dictate how the car handles a tight corner. Number 6. The suspension control arms. When you buy a Mercedes, you expect a specific ride quality. You expect the car to glide over bumps like a massive luxury yacht while cornering like a precision sports car. That magic is achieved through a highly complex multi-link aluminum suspension system. The suspension connects to the chassis using heavy aluminum control arms packed with dense rubber bushings. Over time, the weight of the car and the friction of the road tear the rubber bushings apart. The car begins to clunk over speed bumps. The steering wheel shakes at highway speeds. The front tires wear out unevenly. You take the car to the dealership. The service advisor quotes you $2,000 to replace the front control arms. They charge you $400 per arm. Mercedes does not forge aluminum suspension parts. They hire a German company called Lemferter to forge the metal and press the rubber bushings. Lemferter is the absolute gold standard for European suspension components. You can buy the exact same Lemferter control arms from FCP Euro for $120 each. Here is the absolute ultimate hack of the independent parts market. FCP Euro offers a lifetime replacement guarantee on every single part they sell. That includes suspension components that are naturally designed to wear out. You buy the Lemferter arms once, you install them. 5 years later, when the rubber bushings tear again, you buy a new set from FCP Euro. You put the old broken arms in the box, ship them back, and FCP Euro refunds your money. You literally buy the suspension once for the entire lifetime of the vehicle. The dealership wants to charge you $400 every 5 years. The choice is mathematically obvious. The control arms hold the wheels, but the liquid bladders at number 5 prevent the massive engine from shaking your teeth out. Number 5. The fluid-filled engine mounts. A modern Mercedes V8 engine generates massive amounts of raw torque and aggressive physical vibration. If you bolted that spinning metal block directly to the frame of the car, the entire cabin would vibrate violently, the dashboard would rattle, your hands would go numb on the steering wheel. To solve this, Mercedes suspends the entire engine on top of massive rubber mounts, but these are not solid chunks of cheap rubber. They are complex fluid-filled hydraulic bladders designed to absorb microscopic engine frequencies. Around 80,000 miles, the rubber degrades. The hydraulic fluid leaks out. The massive engine drops down and rests directly on the metal subframe. The luxury ride instantly transforms into a rattling nightmare. The dealership will quote you $300 per engine mount. You must look at the manufacturer. Corteco and Lemferter manufacture the fluid-filled engine mounts for Mercedes-Benz. You can buy the exact same Corteco mounts online for roughly $80 each. If you hold the $80 Corteco mount next to the $300 genuine Mercedes mount, you will see the exact same hydraulic fluid chamber. You will feel the exact same heavy rubber durometer. You are paying a $220 premium for the cardboard box. Replacing engine mounts requires lifting the engine slightly with a jack and unbolting the mounts from below. It requires a skilled independent mechanic, but bringing the Corteco parts to the shop will save you hundreds of dollars on the final invoice. The mounts absorb the vibration, but the heavy metal discs at number 4 stop the 2-ton missile from crashing into a wall. Number 4. The high carbon brake. Rotors brakes are the most critical safety system on the entire vehicle. You cannot cut corners on stopping power. When you hit the brake pedal at 80 miles per hour, massive hydraulic pressure clamps the brake pads down onto spinning metal discs called rotors. The friction generates intense, localized thermal energy. If the rotors are built from cheap, low-grade steel, the massive heat will permanently warp the metal. The steering wheel will violently shake every time you touch the brake pedal. When your rotors wear too thin, the dealership will quote you $250 per rotor to replace them with genuine Mercedes parts. You do not need the dealership. You need Zimmermann. Zimmermann is a massive German braking manufacturer. They produce the original equipment rotors for Mercedes, Porsche, and BMW. They do not use cheap steel. They forge their rotors using high-carbon cast iron. The high-carbon content prevents the metal from warping under extreme heat and eliminates brake squeal. Furthermore, Zimmermann coats their rotors with a specialized anti-corrosion chemical called Z-coat. This prevents the center hub of the rotor from turning into a rusted orange nightmare after a single rainstorm. You can buy the exact same high-carbon Zimmermann rotors online for $90 each. You get the exact same metallurgical strength, the exact same anti-rust coating, and the exact same stopping power. You keep $160 per wheel in your bank account. The rotors provide the friction surface, but the abrasive blocks at number 3 dictate exactly how much brake dust covers your beautiful wheels. Number 3. The ceramic brake pads. If you own a Mercedes, you know the absolute frustration of washing your car, cleaning the silver wheels, and driving for 2 days, only to find the front wheels completely coated in a thick layer of black, sticky brake dust. The factory genuine Mercedes brake pads are notoriously dusty. They are built from a soft, semi-metallic compound that provides excellent initial bite, but aggressively sheds black dust onto the wheels. The dealership will charge you $180 for a set of front brake pads that will dirty your wheels in 48 hours. You can completely upgrade your braking experience by abandoning the dealership entirely. You want to buy original equipment manufacturer ceramic brake pads. Companies like Akebono or Techstar manufacture premium ceramic pad sets specifically engineered for European vehicles. You can buy a full front set of Akebono Euro ceramic brake pads online for roughly $70. Ceramic brake pads operate on a completely different friction physics model. They do not use soft metal shavings. They use dense ceramic compounds. They produce almost zero visible brake dust. Your silver wheels remain completely clean for weeks. Furthermore, ceramic pads are completely silent. They eliminate the high-pitched squealing noise that plagues cheap aftermarket brakes. You pay less than half the price. You eliminate the black dust. You stop the squealing. Upgrading the friction compound is the easiest automotive decision you will ever make. The brakes stop the car, but the microscopic explosions at number 2 dictate the raw power of the internal combustion sequence. Number 2. The Iridium spark plugs. Deep inside the dark combustion chamber of the engine, raw gasoline mixes with pressurized air. The piston compresses the mixture. To ignite the fuel, the engine requires a tiny, perfectly timed electrical arc. It requires a spark plug. Modern Mercedes engines operate at extreme pressures and temperatures. They cannot use cheap copper spark plugs. They require precious metals. They require iridium. Iridium is one of the hardest, most heat-resistant metals on the planet. An iridium spark plug can fire perfectly millions of times without the microscopic electrode melting or degrading. The dealership will tell you that your car requires a major tune-up. They will quote you $28 per spark plug. If you drive a V8 engine, that is over $220 for 8 tiny pieces of metal and ceramic. Bosch and NGK manufacture the Iridium spark plugs for Mercedes. You can buy the exact same Bosch double Iridium spark plug online for $8. The spark plug features an ultra-fine wire Iridium center electrode and an Iridium stamped ground electrode. It delivers the exact same massive spark. It guarantees the exact same optimal fuel combustion. It prevents engine misfires for exactly 100,000 miles. Replacing spark plugs requires a specialized thin wall socket, but it is a straightforward maintenance item. You remove the ignition coil, unscrew the old plug, and thread the new $8 Bosch plug into the cylinder head. You execute the perfect tune-up for under $70 total. The spark plugs fire the engine, but the massive pneumatic cylinders at number 1 provide the legendary ride quality that defines the brand. Number 1. The Airmatic suspension. Struts. The absolute ultimate fear of every Mercedes owner is the Airmatic suspension failure. You walk out to your garage in the morning. You look at your beautiful luxury sedan. The front end of the car is completely slammed to the ground. The tire is tucked entirely inside the fender well. The car looks broken. The Airmatic system replaces traditional steel coil springs with massive rubber air bladders. A centralized air compressor pumps the bladders full of pressurized air to lift the car and absorb the bumps. Over time, the rubber dry rots and tears. The pressurized air leaks out overnight. The car collapses. You tow the car to the dealership. The service advisor gives you a quote that physically makes you nauseous. They want $1,800 for a single genuine Mercedes Airmatic strut. They tell you that you must replace both sides. You're looking at a $4,000 repair bill for 2 rubber balloons. You do not need the dealership. You need Bilstein. Bilstein is the original equipment manufacturer that builds the massive air struts for the Mercedes factory assembly line. You can buy the exact same Bilstein B4 Airmatic replacement strut from an independent distributor for roughly $600. It is the exact same complex internal valving. It is the exact same heavy-duty rubber bladder. It plugs directly into the electronic suspension wiring harness of the car without triggering a single dashboard error code. If you want an even better option, you can look at the aftermarket engineering company Arnott. They redesigned the common failure points of the factory strut and build a bulletproof replacement using heavy-duty Continental rubber bladders for around $500. You do not have to sell your car when the air suspension collapses. You do not have to pay the dealership $4,000. You buy the original equipment manufacturer parts, hire a trusted independent European mechanic, and restore the legendary ride quality for a fraction of the cost. Stop paying the corporate markup. Learn the names of the original manufacturers. Buy your parts from independent distributors offering lifetime warranties. Take control of your maintenance, protect your bank account, and enjoy the true brilliance of German engineering without funding the dealership waiting room. Click the next video on your screen right now to uncover the 10 most common engine failures and exactly how to prevent them before they destroy your car. We expose the engineering flaws. We will see you there. Thanks for watching.